past 3 weeks who has felt frustrated, anxious, angry, upset, had some emotions about having to be on break, to not play basketball, in the chat, just put the letter I. Just type an I. Just go ahead and type and enter. Should say go to everybody. Just go ahead and type an I and let them fly in. Yeah, I think this is awesome. So I think that those are pretty common feelings that we've all had. We've all had this frustration. We've all had this anger, this confusion, anxiety. What's coming next? What are we supposed to be doing? And it's something that is common for all of us. And so what I want to do today is talk a little bit on how we can manage those feelings. We have zero control over the situation. The only thing we can control right now is how we're going to respond to it and what we're going to do with it, what we're going to do with those feelings, and how we can turn those into positives. The hardest part is that as adults, we haven't been through anything like this. So it's really hard for us to fully dive in and help you guys, because the one thing I want you guys to know is that your frustrations and your anger and your feelings are real, and they are warranted. You should feel those things. And it's important, I think, for you guys to understand that as adults, we do know how much you guys are sacrificing right now. Everything that you enjoy, that you love, that you have done for your entire life has just been ripped out. It's just been taken away. You woke up one day and they said, no more basketball, no more school, you can't hang out with your friends. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, time out, hang on. And so I think it's important for you guys to know that we see you. We understand this. We get it. We may not be helping you guys in the best ways, or you wish we were helping you more in certain ways, but we are currently trying to do everything that we can to serve you. And so I celebrate you guys for accepting things like this, for coming on to these kinds of meetings and trying to learn with us as well, and trying to grab this kind of connection. One quote, as a reader, I will have a lot of quotes. I have a lot of quotes that I like. I will rattle a lot of them off. If you have pen and paper and you want to write them down, feel free. If you need me to repeat it, go ahead and take yourself off mute, and I'll repeat it. Just go ahead and ask me to do that. But one quote, I know we got some coaches on here, is the character that we display during the drought will be what your team remembers the most in the harvest. The character we display during the drought will be what your team remembers the most in the harvest. And I say this as somebody who has really taken that to heart and wanting to serve you guys through this time, but also for you guys to understand at some point in some group you're in, you are a leader in that group. It might be your high school team, it might be your AAU team, it might be a different sport, it might be your group of friends, it might be in your family, it might be with your siblings. And it's really important to remember the character that you are displaying, how you are choosing to respond in this situation is what is really going to set you apart and get more people to follow you when we come out of this situation. Right now, you are earning major credit. If we had a bucket of trust, and every time you did something positive or good, we put a coin in the bucket, your bucket should be filling up massively during this time. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. By no means is that what I'm trying to say, but try to fill that trust bucket up with your teammates in those groups you're leading. Today, I want to talk a lot about habits, structure, routine. Those are things that I am, they're a massive part of my life. They are something that I feel majority of successful people have. There's something, when I study successful people, they always have some sort of habits, some sort of routine that they have dived into and follow their entire life. But here's another quote for you. The chains of habit are too light to feel until they are too heavy not to be broken. They're too light to feel until they're too heavy not to be broken. And so it's really, you don't pay a lot of attention to your habits. You already have a bunch of them. I bet the way you brush your teeth, the order in which you get dressed, the shoe you tie first, how you when you get dressed and you put your uniform on, the way you brush your hair. All of these things are little habits that you don't even think about because you started doing them when you were really little and you started doing them the same way all the way through. And what we need to do now is stack more positive habits. You know, we were joking a little bit about people sleeping until noon, but I'm not really joking about that. That is a bad habit to get into. That is a heavy habit, a heavy chain that will be really hard to break. Yeah, I know we're pointing out Bree there, but yep. But I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure there's more. They just didn't admit it. They didn't have a sister calling them out on it. That's all. But it is super important to get into a routine and keep that routine. Some of the reasons why, some of these you guys will already know, but ultimately it gives you some sort of control. Your feelings of anxiety are because of your lack of control. You have no say in going to a court. You have no say in if you can go hang out with your friends. You have no say in leaving your house. You're stuck around only a few people. All these things that you normally would do, you're not allowed to do. You feel out of control. We don't know when we're getting out of this. We don't know when we're going to have practice. And so we lose control of something. A routine, a structure can give you that control back of something in your life. It builds momentum. Routine builds momentum. You can get a win for the day. You can start to stack those wins, which ultimately will build more confidence in what you're doing throughout the day. You instill good habits. Routine gives you good habits. It starts to break the bad habits down. If you're filling your day with good habits, it's hard to fit all the bad habits in. And so we want to be intentional on our routine and the habits that we're going to create. It gives you a flow to your day. Your day will all of a sudden start to feel a little patterned, but it'll have a little bit of a flow. And you just become more efficient. You become more productive. You start getting things done. When you start being productive and things start to get done, you start to learn more. As your productivity rate increases, you just really kind of crave more of that. That is what your old routine used to do for you. That is what going to the gym used to do for you. That's what hanging out with your friends and building that connection used to do for you. You just didn't know that it was a routine or a structure or an actual planned out thing for you. Put an S as in Sam in the chat box if you like structure. That's great. A lot of S's there. That's awesome. I'm assuming you guys have found it hard to find some structure now that school has, been online or canceled or whatever you guys are doing with school. And then basketball has been taken away. You probably revolved your day mostly around waking up, getting to school, taking a little break, and then going to practice. That probably was how your day was structured. Let's put a P in the chat box if you have made a plan for yourself in the last 3 weeks, a daily plan. I love it. That's great. That's great. I love that. So some people don't like routine or structure. They like a little more free flowing, and that actually is okay. Like that's all right. But I think even those people would find they are sort of structured as well. That even within their free flowing day, they're finding structure. So I'm going to go through some, these are called Spark habits. There's a book called Spark, and these habits came out of there. But one is something, I think it's Coach Ryan's 9th grade team is reading a book called Make Your Bed. And that's the number one Spark habit is make your bed. I'm not a big bed maker. I'm one of those people that likes to, if I slept really well, I'll kind of leave my bed the way it was and hope when I get back in, it's comfortable again and I sleep exactly that same way. But the number one Spark habit is make your bed. And the reason is it automatically gives you a win for the day. You automatically have a chance to set your day off right. You get up, you make your bed, it's clean, it's neat. No matter how your day goes, when you come back into your room, you see your bed is made, and you can chalk that up as a victory. You remember, okay, at least something went well today. There was something that went well. So number one would be make your bed. I would, in this past 3 weeks, I have started to make my bed. Actually, I take that back. I've actually started a little bit sooner than that. I live with some friends, and I have a room in the house. And so I do everything in this room. It's my office. I sleep, I watch TV, I hang out. Not that I can't hang out with my friends. I just do a lot of stuff in this room. So I have to kind of make my bed. So I started making my bed a long time ago, a few months ago, actually. And I do notice a difference. When my bed is straightened up and neat, I feel better. That has been a little bit of a difficult habit to get into, but I would challenge you guys to try that one. Just even if it's just throwing the covers over, get your bed made. Number two is put on your armor. So get dressed. Like actually get up and put clothes on. Don't lay around in your pajamas. I would include in there, wake up at a structured time. I would get up. I'm going to go off of habits for a little bit. We'll go into routine for a second, but let's talk about sleep. Let's just talk about sleep for a little bit. Setting a sleep schedule and sticking to that sleep schedule is actually more important than the number of hours you get. So if you sleep 8 hours, but it happens to be 2 a.m. to 10 a.m., that is less beneficial than sleeping, than going to bed at like 10 p.m. every night and sleeping for 8 hours. The 8 hours are important because if you consistently sleep less than 8 hours, you are actually increasing your risk for cancer and other diseases. So people who sleep 6 to 7 hours consistently increase their chances for cancer and other diseases. So the 8 hours is important. Between 10 and I think it's 10 and 2, your body is recovering mentally. I take that back. Recovering physically. You are physically letting your body rest and recover between 10 and 2. Between 2 and 6 or 2 and 8, your body is mentally recovering. Your brain is resting and relaxing and refreshing and being prepared for the next day. When you don't give your body those hours of sleep, you are shortening that recovery period in which your body can rest, recover, and be strong. As high-level athletes and high-level athletes that we want to become, sleep is massively important. I'm a big proponent of naps because I feel getting that rest in the afternoon is important as well. You also are allowing your brain a chance to recover so that it can fire on all cylinders. But when I was growing up, we didn't talk a lot about sleep. We didn't talk a lot about nutrition. We didn't talk a lot about stretching. We literally just went and played. There's a lot of things that you guys have access to, information-wise and knowledge-wise, that if you take advantage of that, you can separate yourself from a lot of other athletes. Sleep is the big topic right now, along with breathing, which we'll get into later. But those are the areas that you can mostly separate yourself from, because not everybody's going to discipline themselves enough to set a sleep schedule and stick to that sleep schedule. Put a X in the chat box if you stay on your phone until the second you go to bed. Yeah, these should be flying in. Yeah. And so the light on your phone, being on your phone, your computer, your iPad, some sort of technology actually slows down the release of melatonin in your body. The release of melatonin is what actually puts you to sleep. It actually is what gets you rest and calms you down to sleep you, or to get you to sleep. It slows down that release of melatonin by almost 4 hours. So if you have trouble sleeping and you grab your phone, you're creating a more difficult time for you to sleep. So every time you pick that phone back up when you can't sleep, your melatonin is not going to release in your body, which is going to keep you up even longer. So having a phone curfew would be extremely important. You shouldn't be on your phone within, I mean, I'd say on the short side an hour, but probably 2 hours before you actually want to get in bed and go to sleep. And I know I'm freaking you guys out, but if you really want to be a high level athlete and you really want to do something that will separate you from everybody else, better sleep is the way. We all like to sleep. Better sleep is the way. Okay, that's my lecture on sleep there. But back to our Spark habits. Drink water. Number 3, drink water. So you should have a minimum 64 ounces a day. Probably should be way above that, especially with how much you guys work out. So your water intake should be 64 ounces minimum. That does not include anything you would drink during a workout. It literally is just sitting around drinking water. Coach Rob, you got some water there? I think he's drinking some water right now. So anything you would add in your water is not going to count in 64 ounces. If you drink like one of those Mio or something like that you put in there, Gatorade does not count. That's actually like reversing the effects of water. But 64 ounces. Immediately when you wake up, you should chug 8 ounces. That'd be a great habit to get into. That water will immediately wake your body up. It will get your digestive system functioning. It wakes up all your organs. You will start functioning on a much higher level. By how some of you showed up here at 10 o'clock and the way you look, I would say we're just waking up and we're not drinking water. So that's already 2 things you can change immediately that aren't really very difficult, but you could immediately change your day, change your mood, and the way you are able to attack your day. Number 4 is something you guys are really good at already, and that's move. Okay, you guys just exercise, move, work out. You guys are really good at that. I can tell by all the videos that I see, all the people on the Dribble Sticks trainings, all of that is awesome. So you guys do a great job of that. You know, some of you are probably not sure what workouts to be doing now. You've been doing the same things for 3 weeks. We don't really know where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to be doing. I would say if you haven't, feel free to reach out to any of the coaches in the Mystics program, myself, Coach Rob, Coach Ryan, Jermaine, Josh, Coach Owen. Everybody should have probably something they can give you to tweak what you're doing specifically, whether it's on court or off court. We should all be able to help you that way. Get grounded. Okay, I don't mean get in trouble. I don't mean get in trouble. I don't mean sit in your room. I mean get your feet, bare feet on the ground. Coach Owen might be difficult for you guys with 31 degrees, but give it a shot. Just give it a shot. Get your feet on the ground. It actually has, doing that also helps with sleep. It also helps with reducing inflammation in the body. There's like science to prove that getting our feet grounded on the earth, like touching earth, dirt, grass, snow, sand, whatever you can, pavement, get your feet on the pavement. It doesn't have to be for extremely long time, but I would try it. I am somebody who has always hated the feel of grass and sand and dirt on my feet. I wear shoes almost all day long. I barely even like sandals and flip-flops. I don't know why, but I'm going to try this. I'm going to add it into my routine, and I'm going to do this because I think it's that important to just get my feet on the ground. I'm probably going to shoot for like a minimum 5 minutes a day. And to see if how long I can expand that, especially as it starts to get warmer. Meditation. Okay. With meditation, I would add visualization and breathing. So meditation can be very difficult, right? It can be very hard to sit and be with your own thoughts, and not fidget and just sit still. I have tried this numerous times. It's not something I've been able to grasp. It's not something I've been good at, and I'm gonna fight it because I'm going to get good at it. There are guided meditations. You can find them all over uh, apps. There's all kinds of apps. You can find them on probably Twitter's got some. You can find them, but they will just talk you through 5-minute, 10-minute, just getting your thoughts back to being present, to staying focused on one little thing. It actually heightens your ability to focus. It's super good for you. Really hard to do. But if someone is doing that and they have a trick to it, please let me know. I would love it. I just I'm working through that one. But that is excellent. I would add that in. Visualization. I don't know if any of you do this, but sit maybe when you wake up or before you go to bed, really good before you go to bed, and visualize what you want your day to be the next day. Think about all the positive things that could happen. And when your eyes are shut, and let's do this. Everybody close your eyes. We'll go through some visualization. Good. And now while your eyes are shut, I want you to think back to a time that was relaxing, peaceful. You had a smile on your face. You were just really light. You felt amazing. You could be with other people. You might have your family there. You might be with your friends. You might be at a basketball game. You might be at a beach. But you can see the atmosphere. You hear other people around, whether they're with you or not. You can hear conversations. You see bright lights. If it's a beach, the sun is shining bright, it's warm, you can feel that sun on your skin. If you're in the gym, the lights are bright, you're probably knocking shots down, you are rebounding and running fast, time has stood still, but you are still moving. It's quiet even though the gym is jam-packed. Go to that place for 30 seconds, 45 seconds right now, and just sit in that space, feel that space, and take note of everything you're feeling and everything you're sensing. I'll put the timer on right now. Awesome. Now let's open our eyes. Would anybody be willing to share their moments, what they felt, what they sensed, what they saw? You can come off mute. Nobody?
Hey.
Who's hey?
Lexi.
Lexi, yeah, let's do it.
All right. I was on a pontoon boat in Florida for spring break with my best friend and her family, and then my family. And we were kind of just like cruising through like the water, and then we were like get out and we'd walk on the sand, and I could feel the sand on my feet and like the wind and the sunshine beating, and I felt really happy and like light and kind of like free spirited.
Nice. Lexi, could you like what colors did you see? Like what color was your vision?
Yellow.
Yellow. I like it. And so normally when we stop and visualize, we see different colors. Normally they're bright. The whole place is bright. It's warm. Like you said, you feel light and peaceful. What right now, how you feel right now, did it change your physical state right now compared to where you did before you visualized?
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
imagine if you did this before going to bed. Let's say you've had a stressful day, you've had a tough day, whatever, something didn't go right. And before you went to bed, you took, 2-3 minutes to visualize that place, to put yourself back in that space, to go through that moment again. Do you think that you would be a little more relaxed when you went to bed and tried to sleep?
Yeah, and I definitely think that I'd wake up a lot better too. Like I would
Yes.
wake up as like groggy, or like if I had a bad dream, it wouldn't matter because I already had that nice visualization before.
Absolutely. Lexi, that is exactly where I was going next. It will actually, because you go to bed relaxed and calm and thinking positive, you will wake up relaxed and calm and thinking positive. Um, it will take all, like if you go to bed angry, intense, and tight, those are probably times where you can't fall asleep or you have restless sleep. And so it's not as quality. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing happens if you were to visualize going into a game, going into a workout. Sometimes we just have a game or a workout and we don't want to do it. We just don't want to do it. And so sometimes, um, we let our feelings dictate how we play or dictate how we're thinking at that time. But really, we can change that all around. We just have to recognize those feelings. So I'm angry, I'm upset, I don't want to play this game, I'm really tired, I don't want to work out. We can now go to visualization. We can now take a minute or two and literally visualize myself going through that workout. I can close my eyes and see myself in that workout, having a great workout, talking to my teammates, encouraging them. I can see all of this happen in my brain, and I can see bright lights, and I can see success, and I can see made layups and made jump shots and great passes and good defense. And as I see all this, I will start to get adrenaline and get more excited about having my workout. And you can change your state, your mental state. You can do that in a minute. You can do it in 2 minutes. And you can do that literally just by focusing on what you want the outcome to be. And so it changes everything. So I encourage visualization a lot. We used to do this with our college athletes, especially if we had we would do it the night before. If we knew we had a tough game, if we knew we had, a high emotional game, something was stressful, a lot was going on, we would just take a couple minutes and try to visualize, or I would encourage them to do that. Our athletes who were really struggling to make shots, or, just something got taken out of the starting lineup, whatever it was, we would encourage visualization for the game coming up to put them in the frame of mind they wanted to be in. Sometimes it's hard to get there on your own, but you can go into that visualization state. The third part of that would be breathing. I did this with my the dream team a little bit in a meeting, but you can, in changing and controlling your breathing patterns, you can relax your mind, you can relax your body, you can let the stress out. And you can start thinking again. Sometimes when people have anger issues, somebody will say, stop, count to 10. Maybe you've heard that once or twice. Just stop, count to 10. And that is because as you're counting, you will start breathing, and you're just going to pause for a second. So different breathing techniques would be when it's a high anxiety moment, you would want to slow your breathing down. And so you could inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. So everyone's going to do this with me. We're going to inhale. So give me inhale deep. I'll count for you. You guys inhale. So inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. How do we feel? That's only twice through. If you do this for like a minute or two, all of a sudden you just feel calmer. And you can take deeper breaths and you can relax a little bit. And when you can do that, you can think. And when we think, we just make better decisions. So another one was you can like breathe in a square. So you literally just take your hands across your body and you're inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, and you're just making a rectangle or a square around your body. There are some things on Twitter where they actually, this guy put a bunch of like really pretty photos up, and this like ball kind of moves through, and it just tells you when to like inhale and exhale. There's things on that with Twitter. The Calm app has like breathing where the ball gets big and small, like you inhaling and exhaling, teaching you how to breathe. But the more you control your breath, the more you control that, the more you control your emotions. And so I would really encourage breathing. Again, it's going to wake your body up. It's going to get good oxygen in your body. It's going to cycle through. So I would add some of those into your routine. But right now, think about some of the major areas of your life. There's things in your life that you have to do. Everybody has them, right? We have academics. We have athletics. We need to work out. We have family. We have service. Service might be big for you. Connection, trying to connect with friends. For me, like personal time is big. My spirituality is big. Growth, learning something new is big. So we have all these categories that we need to complete or fill in during the day, during every day. We may do them in the same order, we might not, depending on our schedule, but those are like the big areas of your life. And so I would encourage you to really, at some point, if you have paper and pencil now, I'd encourage you to put them all down right now and really decide what are those most important big things in your life. I'll give you guys time to think about that. We'll just go for like a minute. Okay, good. And so within those big items, we would need to kind of plan our day to make sure that those things get accomplished. And the reason, a schedule becomes important is because the things that get scheduled are the things that get done. So if you don't have a schedule, but if over here you're saying family, basketball, academics, and connection are my most important things, but you wake up without a schedule to do those four things, something else is going to come in during the day and take your time and attention. And you're not going to get those four things in, those four big areas. You might miss out on some of those. I know a lot of people, especially my friends, when they're like, oh, I need to work out. I got to work out. I'm going to work out. But they don't schedule it. Well, guess what gets cut out of their day almost every single time? The workout, because they get busy, right? So they have to do things for their kids. They have to do things for their family. They have to do things for their job. And then they're like, well, I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to work out. But over here, they're saying that's a massive important thing to them that must get accomplished in order for them to be successful and feel good about their day. But if they schedule it in, they can get it in, right? So the things that get scheduled are the things that get done. And as you start to evaluate what your schedule might look like, you find time, you make time, because the things that are the most important to you are the things you will find time to do. For most of you guys, it's really hard to find time to clean your room. Most of you, it's really hard to do that. But you're bored out of your minds. So it's not a time issue. It's a discipline issue. It's a want to issue, right? So we say time, but it's not time. And this could go for any number of things, right? I am trying to grow my faith and dive into the Bible more. If I don't schedule it, I don't do it. And that sounds terrible. But if I don't schedule it, I won't do it. And I will push that to the backside because it's not a habit for me yet. So over here, I'm saying, I want to do this. I want to read the Bible. I want to become stronger in my faith. But then over here, I'm like, oh, didn't have time. I did have time. I just didn't schedule it. It wasn't important enough for me on this day to actually get it into my schedule and do it. So whatever that is, like that has to flip. It has to be important enough. And you got to decide what those most important things are. And my morning routine. So I'll just give you guys a quick rundown of my morning routine. It does not take me very long. As soon as I wake up, I drink 8 ounces of water. It's literally sitting next to my bed. I don't even get out of bed. I don't even put my feet on the ground. I drink water. I do my, I started to do this in the last 3 weeks. I open the blinds. And it sounds little. It's kind of like make your bed. My mom used to do this all the time, and I'm just realizing that was actually part of her routine. I don't even think she knows it. That was part of her routine. She'd come in the morning and open the blinds in our bedrooms. Jeez, it would drive me bonkers. And now I'm doing it. It's letting the sunshine in. I'm seeing the day. It makes me want to get up and be more productive and get moving because, wow, the sun is up. I should probably actually join the rest of the world. So just opening the blinds, it brightens my day. I do a daily prime. My daily prime is 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I have to do to win the day, and then 3 affirmations. So they're I am statements. I am strong. I am powerful. I am disciplined. I am ready. I am moving. I am patient. I am productive. Whatever you want to put after that. I'm a child of God. I am prayerful. I am thoughtful. I'm a service leader. Servant leader. Whatever you think you are, and they're just things to reaffirm in my mind who I think I am, who I want to be, and who I need to show up as. So I do my daily prime. Majority of days I will put it out on Twitter. Just for accountability purposes. I don't always, but I do get that daily prime done. I read. I told you I'm a big reader, so I read. It might only be 5 to 10 pages. It might be 2 pages. It might be 30 pages. It depends on the time I have in that day, but I will read, and I will work out. If I don't have something like this, I will work out in the morning when I get up so that it is done and out of the way. That's my morning routine. So most of those things aren't going to take me very long. The workout clearly, and then however long I want to read, those things could take a little longer. I also have a nighttime routine. So before I go to bed, when I'm like winding down and I'm about to get into bed, that's when I will read the Bible. Okay. That's when I'll put that in there. I will get out my planner and I will schedule my day for the next day. I will make sure that I'm scheduled in routine so that when I wake up, I know specifically what I need to get done, when I need to do it. I will journal. Okay, this is when I will journal. And this is where I will check off if I got my wins from the morning. Did I get those 3 things? I'll write them in my journal. Check, check, check. I got them. If I didn't, I need to move them over to the next day. I need to remember I got to get those in. I will write what I'm grateful for. 10, 15, 20 things, anything I can think of that I'm grateful for throughout the day. These do not have to be big things. A lot of times we think they have to be these massive, displays of gratitude. But honestly, sometimes I'm grateful for my notebook, that I can write things down, that while I'm trying to go to sleep and things come in my brain, I can just write them down. I can be grateful for my phone. I can be grateful for my favorite pair of sweatpants. It doesn't matter what you're grateful for. But start writing things you are grateful for. What did I learn? Did I learn anything during the day? What did I do well? This is a tough one for people. What you did well. So many times throughout our day, we are focused on what I need to fix, what has gone wrong, what troubles have been created, and how can I solve them? What problems can I solve? And we never stop and think about what we did well. And the first few times, if you guys try this, the first few times you do this, it'll be hard to write down 3 to 5 things because you're not thinking about those things throughout your day. When I first started this, literally some of the only things I could think of were like, I got dressed and tied my shoes correctly. Like, I don't know what else I did well. But now as I go through my day, I start thinking about things. I'm like, oh man, I did that pretty well. I did that pretty well. I did that pretty well. And I start writing those things down. That before I go to bed puts me in a good frame of mind. I've done all of these things right during the day instead of focusing on all these things I did wrong. And it just changes your mindset. Again, I sleep better. I wake up in a better mood. These are, I would say if you could lock in on just 2, if you don't currently have a morning routine or an evening routine, and you could lock in on 2 things that you know, I can commit to these 2 things daily for the next 2 weeks. These 2 things in the morning, these 2 things in the evening, you will find your mindset changing. I'm actually going to give you one more quote, and then I'm going to let you guys think about 2 things you can do in the morning and the evening. You guys probably all watched the NCAA tournament last year when Virginia men's basketball won, correct? We all know that Virginia won. We all know that the year before, Virginia was the first 1 seed that was ever eliminated from the tournament by a 16 seed. In the press conference after they lost that game, as the first ever, created history in the wrong way, Coach Tony Bennett said, if used correctly, adversity will buy you a ticket to a place you never could have gone without it. If used correctly, adversity will buy you a ticket to a place you never would have been able to go without it. This, what we are going through right now, is adversity. It's probably one of the most adverse situations you might face in your life. It's certainly as a world, as a state, what we're trying to get accomplished. We've never been through this. If you can use this correctly, it's going to propel you to a place you never would have gotten without this stoppage of time. This routine, creating habits, any of the things I just listed through the Spark habits, finding something important to you that you can commit to, creating that discipline, is how you can propel yourself forward. I'm going to give you guys, let's go with 2 minutes to think. 2 morning things, 2 night things that you can commit to. If you have paper and pencil, write them down. All right, I'm going to ask for somebody from the dream team if they'd be willing to share what they're willing to commit to.
I will.
Awesome, let's do it.
For morning, I said water when I wake up, like you said, and then get up earlier because I don't get up early at all. And then for my nighttime thing, I thought your journaling idea was really smart, so I wrote that down, and then I said go to bed earlier.
Awesome. Alyssa, can you, as you don't have to do it right now, but I would recommend, instead of earlier, you specifically set a time. Whatever that time is for you. You specifically set that time that you want to go to bed and that you want to get up.
Okay.
For me, I usually wake up before an alarm anyways, so I set my alarm to the last possible minute I need to be awake to accomplish anything. Right now, like my alarm is set at 9 o'clock every day. I wake up way before it, but every day my alarm's set for 9, and I know if I've slept to that, 1, I was really tired, but 2, I need to get up now and just start my day. So just whatever that time would be for you, I would recommend you actually choose that time.
Okay.
Awesome. Anybody from Coach Rob's team? Someone from Coach Rob's team?
I will, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Lauren.
Okay.
Lauren. Let's hear more enthusiasm on that. I got it. I'll do it.
Okay, I will.
Yes, there we go.
In the morning, I'll make my bed and I'll drink more water. and then in the evening I'll meditate and then go to bed at 10 or 9:30.
Love it. Lauren, get a little more specific. So I will drink more water. Choose an amount you're gonna drink. If you already drink a lot of water, maybe you're only gonna add in 8 ounces or 16 ounces. So I will drink 8 ounces more per day, but try to choose a number. What was your other one? Oh, I'll meditate. Try to choose a time. I will meditate for a minute. I will meditate for 30 seconds, whatever that is. Choose a time on that.
Okay.
So that you can it's a little more specific and you'll be able to check those off as wins a little easier.
Okay.
Let's go with Coach Jermaine. Let's get someone on your team.
I'll do it.
Who's it? Where are you at?
Lexi.
Who is it?
Lexi.
Lexi. All right. Trying to find
Okay.
it.
I said that when I wake up, I'll drink 8 ounces of water, and then I liked your 3 primes idea.
Nice.
So I'll write down the 3 things I'm thankful for, 3 wins I'll get, and then the 3 affirmations.
Love it.
And then at the end of the day, I will, where is it? Sorry, I stored them. I'll write down what I'm grateful for, and then after I'll meditate for a minute.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. So good. For all of you who've written yours down, try to be as specific as you can. Lexi, you did a good job of getting specific there. All of the options are excellent. Okay. Everything you guys chose is really good. You need to choose something that will serve you. What I do isn't going to serve everybody. It serves me. So it's great. So if you find within, a week, hey, these are pretty easy, then you maybe can add another one in, but keep them simple. Just check wins off, build momentum throughout your day. Just make sure you're able to get those wins. This isn't anything we have to massively challenge ourselves with. It's just about trying to get some wins as we go through our day so that when the big things such as family, our connection piece, whatever those big things were, when you get to those, you're in a better frame of mind to have a better workout, to get more successful, relationship building with friends and family. You're not tired. You're not, yet you're able to be there. You're able to be there. The last thing, this is a quote that I love. I want to end on this and with this quote, and then we can ask questions, or if we're done, Coach Rob might have a comment or something. But fate whispers to the warrior, "You cannot withstand the storm." The storm whispers back, "I am the storm. I am the storm." Fate whispers to the warrior, fate whispers to the warrior, "You cannot withstand the storm." The warrior whispers back, "I am the storm." I would encourage all of you to be that warrior. We are in the midst of a storm. The storm is telling us we cannot withstand it. Things are changing fast. Things are coming at us every single day. Be the warrior that whispers back, "I am the storm." Know, have hope, have faith, believe that we are going to get through this, and that when we get through this, we're going to come out on the other side better than we ever were when we got in. But that has to be your hope and your belief. And you can make that happen. I fully believe you can make that happen. There are not other programs sitting around doing this. They maybe are dribbling and doing dribble workouts. They maybe are getting into a gym and getting shots up. Not everybody is trying to get in the right mental space to come out of this better. You are set. Every time you show up to something that Coach Rob puts out, you are making yourself better. You are making a commitment. You are disciplining yourself to be the athlete that you want to be. We will have, whether we play one game this year or not, we will already be more successful as a club because of what you guys are doing in the time you are putting in. I believe that 100%. Coach Rob, I don't know if you have anything. Coach Jermaine, Coach Owen. I've been talking a long time.
Yeah, Coach P. Great stuff, really good stuff. I think I've shared with everybody at least my group that I talk to on a regular basis and the coaching staff, we talk about that getting up and doing something every morning. And my coaches laugh at me every morning. I put in our little group text 10,000 before 10 a.m. My goal every day, guys, is to get up and do 10,000 steps before 10 a.m. And I've done it every day except for one when I hurt my Achilles. But I've done it every day for the last 2.5 weeks, and it's changed the way that my energy in the morning. By noon, I'm jacked, and some of you guys are on the calls with me at 11 a.m. I'm always excited and ready to go just because it's changed my mindset. So I think it's really important to set yourself with a goal, whatever that is, to do in the morning. That's all I got. Who wants to do 10,000 steps at 10 a.m. with me before 10?
That's a tough one, Coach. That's tough.
Nobody.
I will try my hardest to do it.
I didn't see one hand up.
Coach Rob, how long does it take you to get 10,000 steps?
About an hour and a half.
Are you just sitting at the table, Coach Rob, tapping your feet? Is that how you getting your 10,000?
Coach Jermaine, Coach Owen, you got anything? Nope. Nothing?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I like it.
So to all the mystics, real quick, mentally, how do we get through this thing? The thing I have for you is, in women's basketball, watching film. And when I say watching film, not watching film on yourself and you had a great game and you're making, had a great game and you're making shots. Watch some film. Take some time each day to watch some film. YouTube it'll be great for some of you. Watch how some of the great college basketball clubs, different formations and sets and things they run, to just fill your brain with more things. I believe if you have a better understanding of different defenses and offenses and things that's thrown at you, you're able to counter faster on the fly. I spend a lot of time watching film. There's a lot of great coaches out here that we're going to play against, and they all do different schemes and they all coach different ways. And as me being a coach, I have to be able to adjust. I have to be able to counter that, and I mean counter it quickly. But the way I prepare myself is usually it's something I've already seen before, so I'm already really prepared. So spend some time watching film. I think that's an area that is an area that's not really targeted. Spend some time to watch some film. Watch how players get open to get shots. Take some time to look at how different defensive schemes and where the reads and where the right passes and things are at. So that's my thing for you today, food for thought. Take some time, look at some film, watch some video to help yourself be mentally prepared when the season does start.
Coach Dave. You guys,
Hey, how's everybody doing? I do. Hey, ladies, make sure you wear your colors. If you got something that's got Mystics on it, wear it every day. Get your mind right. It's good stuff, Coach.
I like it. Thank you. Got any other coaches on here? Coach Josh on here?
Yeah, Coach, I got a question for you,
Oh,
actually.
I like it.
So I know a lot of us have goals, whether they be short-term, long-term. Some of us may want to play in college. Some of us may just want to make varsity team, start on that varsity team next year. But I'm just curious, as for yourself, how do you incorporate your long-term goals and where you want to go in the future? How do you incorporate that into your daily routines and habits?
Josh. It's a good question, man. So honestly, goals for me are tough. So Coach Josh and I worked together when I was at Saginaw Valley, and we've actually talked about goals a lot. Josh is a big picture thinker. He uses goals to kind of organize his day. I'm not a goal person. Clearly, I have some goals. I'm a detail-oriented person. I'm a smaller day-to-day type person. And goals to me are very outcome related. I am more and trying to be more process related. And so I feel like if I just have a goal, once if I reach that goal or don't reach that goal, that changes my mood, and it really just is on that outcome, and I lose everything I learned in the process of trying to achieve it. So that's how I feel about goals in general. As in your daily plan, I think your goals fit into the big picture groups we split up into: family, connection, basketball. Like, I think our goals go in there. I think our routine sets us up to plan out tasks to achieve goals. Does that make any sense, Josh?
Yeah, that makes sense. Just kind of to touch on that, that's kind of what I see Alyssa dropping Burn Your Goals in there. Great book,
yeah,
by the
Alyssa.
way. Yeah,
Burn Your
great
Goals,
book.
that's right.
Anyways, yeah, for me, like I know I have big picture things that I want to accomplish. So as I'm going through setting my routine, setting my habits, I choose things that I know will eventually help me to get there.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said, that process, frame of mind where I'm going through that process daily. But for me, it's just I want to have an end goal, so I can know how to get there. Like, if you're taking a trip and you want to get to Florida, if you don't know you want to get to Florida, you're not going to know what roads to take to get there, right?
Yeah, 100%. A big goal, like I want to play college basketball, is really the direction setter, right? It's the direction setter that all of our other decisions should point towards. So it's like the North Star, right? Everything I do should lead me to that. Now, everything we talked about today would be all of these little tiny steps: going to bed, setting routines, sleep, breathing, all these things that challenge our mind will elevate us towards that. Of course, it's never a straight line. It's usually like this, but eventually, yes, you're doing it. I like the way you said that, Josh, that it's actually the direction setter. So you know where you're going for sure. So Alyssa, we do want to burn our goals, but not all of them, not completely. We want to be on a mission. Burn Your Goals is a book that the Dream Team and I are reading. It's an excellent book. If you guys like to read, highly suggested. Burn Your Goals. Any other questions? Gosh, we went right to the minute, Coach Rob. On it. Started on time, ended on time. 100% celebrate you guys for listening. I hope you got one thing. I hope you can take away one thing out of this. And if it's something different for everybody, that's perfectly fine. But thank you for listening. Always reach out if you have any other questions or follow up.
Real quick, guys, 10 a.m. dribble class tomorrow. And Wednesday we will have a 10 a.m. Recruiting 101 class. Recruiting 101. You won't want to miss it.
That was Recruiting 101, 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Dribble Sticks tomorrow at 10. All right. We are complete. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.